This is Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook. Today, we want to take a look at the Turpin family. This is David Turpin and Louise Turpin. David Turpin is 56, Louise Turpin is 49. They had 13 children, aged 2 to 29. They were residing in a house, the place called a House of Horrors in Paris, California, outside of Riverside. I believe that's in Riverside County, California. I'm familiar with that place. I lived out there for a brief time. Anyway, they have 13 children, 7 of whom, 5 girls and 2 boys, were over the age of 18. Okay, so that's very interesting. 5 of the 13 were over 18, so they're not even children. Okay, they are charged with, they have 12 counts of torture on them, 1 count of a lewd act upon a child, 7 counts of abuse of a dependent child, 6 counts of child abuse and neglect, 12 counts of false imprisonment. They are facing 94 years to life, and their bail is set at $13 million. Essentially, the 17-year-old girl and one of the other children, so 17 years old, is almost an adult. The 17-year-old girl spent 2 years planning her escape, and she and another child, another of the children, climbed out the window and ran for help. The other child was so frightened that he or she turned back and didn't continue with the 17-year-old girl, who finally, I guess she went to neighbors and she was able to phone police, and they were starving them, they were chaining them to the beds, they were only allowed to bathe once a year. If they were washing their hands and they washed above the wrist, they would be punished because they were playing in the water. Just horrible. Just a house of horrors. And it's completely mystifying that, and this is typical of our age. Okay, here these people, these 15 people, are living in a packed suburb, okay, with houses all around them, and nobody notices a thing. Nobody noticed a thing. Nobody said anything. Okay, they're torturing their children. Nobody noticed a thing. That is a great illness in our society. The society has broken down to the point that people are just anonymous, and they can torture their children and hold people captive in houses for years, and nobody notices. So, until the 17-year-old girl goes running for help and finally gets it. So, I just want to throw a Celtic cross initially. There's so many questions about these people. Let's just throw a Celtic cross and see what we see about these Turpins. The snake. Handcuffs, they bound them. So the man is coming up here. I'm very interested in their psychology. I mean, in older days, people would have looked at that and said, well, gosh, these people are demon possessed. And nowadays, they don't talk like that. The mainline churches don't do anything about possessed people. I personally, I do exorcisms, and I have personally known, I knew a girl for many years in my church who was obviously demon possessed, very, very badly so, and the church did nothing to help her. They just said that she was mentally ill, and I know now. I know now that she was just demon possessed, and she herself constantly told us that she was demon possessed, constantly. But I'm really stupid. I mean, I have more than a master's degree, and I retired at 46, so I'm one of the dumb ones. So I mean, you should listen to people who are much more astute. Anyway, so what is going on here with these people? I just want to get a feel for what's going on here. So right in the middle is the snake. Snake, this is representing the Turpins. The snake is the snake in the Garden of Eden. So this is a symbol of the devil. The devil is very cold-blooded and crafty and plotting and vengeful and very angry. And the snake is in the home. This is a home. Four Hearts home is home and family. So there's a whole bunch of people living in this house. Strength, this is a rooting card as well. So the snake was very strong in the home and family, but it's a family. Okay, and the family was rooted there. Finger of God suggests religion. Sometimes folks like this are quite religious or religulous for all the wrong reasons. So this is imposed on them from outside. So this suggests religion. This suggests some form of religious beliefs that would allow this kind of punishment. Above is handcuffs. Okay, so the children were literally chained to beds as punishment. Okay, but on the day that the police came in, there's 13 children. Okay, 7 of them are above 18, so they're not minors anymore. But punishment, when they were punished, okay, they would be handcuffed, chained with chains and shackled and chained to furniture, to the bed, so that they couldn't escape. And they would be chained sometimes for weeks or months. Okay, so this is quite literal. They were just chained to the furniture. And it's interesting that the man shows up here. I wonder if I don't know. I sincerely hope that the woman is punished equally with the man, because there's just no way she's not equally at fault. So this card, position number 7, most closely relates to position number 1. So crossroads and snake. I'm not sure what to make of that yet. Oh, in the people and events is love. Okay, so this Celtic cross here is showing that it's finally stopped. Okay, things have been renewed. So this man is a good man, and action was taken by the state to end this. Now they're in the hands of good people, and Lover's card also comes up for God. God always shows us the lover of man's soul. And water into wine. So I may not have asked a clear enough question. I kind of wanted an overview about these people, the Turpins. Okay, I wanted an overview. So I should have maybe asked a more specific question. The more specific question, the better the answer. So all I'm really getting here is the devil's in the house, and he's very strong, and they're binding the children, which I know. And this man, David Turpin, he may be primarily responsible for meting out the punishment. Okay, so this snake can also be the woman. Interesting, because the King of Hearts is a good man, and the snake is a very plotting. So there's only one man, one woman showing here. So it actually may be that she, Louise Turpin, 49, is really the cruel one, because this is quite a negative card and this is not. So they may, but they're playing good cop, bad cop, and jacks are children. So binding the children in the home, there's the man and the woman imposing punishment. Interesting. Just an interesting spread. I don't know what I think about this. So this could show their rescue, or this could show him and her playing good cop, bad cop on the children, and that's how they did it. They're playing hot and cold, and yes and no, and punishment, and good and bad, and they're just really manipulating the children. And obviously they were. Okay, there were beatings, they would strangle them, they were starving them. They would buy cakes and sweets and eat them in front of them, and none of the children were allowed to touch them. The girl who was the eldest, 29, she was 88 pounds when this finally stopped. She's 88 pounds. Okay, that's definitely undernourished. That's definitely undernourished. So I have a lot of questions about this. One is, seven of them were over 18. Why didn't they try to escape? And they talk about grooming, okay? Mostly this was psychological, because when the police came, only 3 of them were chained in the punishment thing. Okay, so it's psychological that's keeping them there. They're being held in the house psychologically. They're being starved, beaten, choked, mistreated constantly, and it's psychological, okay? Because only 3 were bound at the time when the police came, so that leaves 10, free, roaming around free. Why didn't the children try to escape? Why didn't they try to escape? Why didn't they overpower the parents? Why didn't they try to escape? Interesting. So for that, let's zoom this in a little bit. Okay, so for why didn't the children try to escape? I got incubus, succubus, roses, and home. Roses is very sweet, and 6 clubs, olive tree. They're rooted as a family, this loving family in the home, but incubus, succubus is a very bad relationship. It's selfish. So 9, 13 again adds 4 hearts. So psychologically, they're always telling them, and this is typical of serial killers and people who do things like this. Psychologically, the parents, and it's very much, a sweetness, we love you and all that, and it's very sweet, but the actions don't match the words. And so they would be saying, I guess, that the punishment is because the children are bad. They're doing something bad, but we love you and we're a happy family, and so that's what they're doing. And also, they must have had the elder children, working to restrain the younger. Okay, they're gonna capitalize on this human capital, where they've got these older children to restrain the younger children, right? Were they doing that? They must have been doing that. Wow. Okay, so devil right in the middle. Yeah, devil in the home. So water into wine can be deception. Water doesn't turn into wine. Devil is very malicious and evil. And cross is like marriage. Cross is also burdens. Cross is like permanently together. So cross often represents marriage under God. And this is, did they get the children to help them? So devil and jacks are children. Okay. Did they get the children to help? Control, the elders control the younger. So right in the center is a devil. Yeah, the devil deceives And water into wine can be a deception card. So the devil is deceiving them, and it's all about the family. So yeah, they had the whole family, working together to create and maintain this system of abuse. And what's so interesting is that they were all abused. They were all being abused, and even the elder ones who were being abused are participating in the abuse itself. Incredible. So 1926, finger of God imposed, comes in from outside. So one other question is that was brought up by like the police psychologist that I saw, is she suggested that some of the younger children, were probably, it's incest, probably birthed by some of the elder girls, because the eldest girl is 29 years old. I mean, she's well within the childbearing range. And five girls were over 18. So were any of the children, the younger children, a product of some of the elder children, which, oh gosh. Family, foundation, finger of God, reacting to circumstances. 11, 17, so that's 5 hearts again. So I asked, I'm not sure, because the cornerstone is a solid foundation. Finger of God is changing things. Family. So if it was the couple, if they were all from this couple, the family members, I would expect to see 2s. What I'm seeing is 4 and 6. And this is, are the younger. So yeah, the younger children we're going to find out that some of the youngest children are from the older daughters, birthed by the older daughters. Another thing is none of them had been to dentists, none of them had been to doctors. So those would have been completely natural births and everything. So none of them had been to doctors. So the 4 diamonds and the 6 hearts, there was, implanted in the situation by other family members and reacting to circumstances. So yeah. So I'm gonna say that we're gonna find out that there was incest of the older children to birth the younger children. Wow. So wow. Anyway, so let's wrap it up. Let's summarize. So David Turpin, Louise Turpin, 49. They had 13 children, ages 2 to 29. They had them in the House of Horrors, Paris, California, in Riverside County. The first spread, I wanted to see what was going on, and it the first spread kind of suggested that the mother is the worst of the 2 between the man and the woman. And then I asked, but they're in good hands now. We got 2 hearts and 8 hearts. They're the children and the adult children are now in good hands now. I asked, why didn't they try to escape? They all of the children were involved. I got the devil, which is a child card, but the elder children were used to contain and deceive the younger children. It was kind of a family thing. They wanted to keep it all in the family, and even some of these children are the result of the elder girls. So really messed up situation. A final thing I'd like to say is it's disturbing. they're going to say that this is, this is an anomaly. This is a normal distribution, okay? And these people are 2 standard deviations outside the mean. And it's true. This is an anomaly, okay? But it's a symptom of great illness. The fact that people can live there's houses everywhere. There's houses all around. How could they get away with this and nobody knows what's happening in that house? There's no sense of community anymore. There's no sense of family or community involvement. This is a very bad sign. Okay, and just like these terrorists, going and murdering people in the streets, these are very bad signs in our society. There's symptoms of great illness, and I think this is a symptom of great illness, like a super disease breaking out. That this can happen here in our society. We're really broken, and as a society, we're becoming very, very broken, and it's bad, man. Anyway, that's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon, both Kindle and paperback. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. I also sell charms. You can join us on Facebook.